She was just a librarian, quiet, simple, invisible. But behind those glasses was a deadly secret. She spoke 6 languages, took down spies in silence, and vanished without a trace. Until today, when she came back with one mission: to stop a war and expose the truth. This isn't just a story. This is the life of a spy.
She stacked books. She wore glasses. She smiled politely. Everyone in town believed Sarah was just a quiet librarian. But no one knew she spoke 6 languages. No one noticed the scar on her wrist. And no one dared ask why she never stayed in one place for long. The truth. Sarah wasn't just organizing books. She was organizing secrets. She worked for a shadow agency even the CIA didn't fully understand. Her code name, Sparrow, and when the phone rang under the library desk, she knew the world was about to change again. That day, the message was clear. Target activated. Retrieve the microchip. Do not fail. Sarah calmly closed the library, locked the front door, slipped out the back, and disappeared into the night. The spy was in play.
3 years ago, Sarah vanished after a mission in Prague. Everyone thought she was dead. Even the agency had written her off. But in truth, she was hiding. Why? Because her last mission exposed a global conspiracy. One that involved high-ranking officials, rogue agents, and the sale of classified tech to enemy nations. And now, the man who had betrayed her back then, he was back. Alive, and carrying the very microchip Sarah once risked her life to protect. That chip held nuclear launch codes, codes that should have been destroyed. And now, it was up for sale to the highest bidder. Sarah couldn't trust anyone. Not even the agency that once called her family. So she turned to someone else. An old contact named Leon, a hacker who once owed her his life. Leon lived off-grid, deep in the woods. Paranoid, brilliant, and slightly insane. But when Sarah showed up at his door, blood on her coat and eyes full of fire, he didn't ask questions. He just said, "Looks like it's spy time again."
With Leon's help, Sarah tracked the target to a secret auction in Istanbul. Only one problem. Every major intelligence agency in the world was sending someone to that auction. But Sarah didn't have backup. She didn't have weapons. She didn't even have a passport. What she had was a plan. She disguised herself as a wealthy Russian collector, used forged documents from her old stash, and walked straight into the lion's den. Inside the dark, smoky hall, dozens of billionaires and spies gathered. Among them was her old enemy agent, Victor, the man who had framed her, the man who had once been her partner and her lover. Their eyes met. He smirked. "I knew you couldn't resist." She smiled back. "Neither could you." And then, chaos, gunfire, screams, smoke bombs. Sarah didn't care about escaping. She wanted the chip. And in the middle of the confusion, she got it. But Victor was right behind her.
The chase began on the rooftops of Istanbul. Victor was fast, but Sarah was faster. She leaped between buildings like a shadow, dodging bullets, sliding across tiles, disappearing into the crowd below. Leon had a getaway boat waiting by the river. She jumped in just as Victor fired. The bullet missed, barely. They sped away into the night. Later on the boat, Sarah opened the chip. But something was wrong. The data had been altered. Someone had set her up again. Leon checked the code. His eyes widened. This isn't nuclear data. It's worse. Chip contained a list of every undercover agent in Europe, their names, their locations, and their families. If this got out, thousands would die. Sarah looked at Leon. We need to end this.
Sarah had one last mission. She returned to London, to the agency she no longer trusted, to the people who had left her for dead. She walked in during a board meeting, threw the chip on the table, and played the audio recording she had secretly made during the auction. Voices of top agents, names, proof of betrayal. The room fell silent. Then someone drew a gun, but Sarah was ready. In less than 5 seconds, she disarmed him. The director stood. What do you want, Sparrow? Sarah looked him dead in the eye. I want out. Full immunity, a clean record, and I want the truth exposed. The director hesitated, then nodded. Sarah walked away that day. No handcuffs, no more secrets, just freedom. Or so she thought. Because in the shadows, Victor was still alive, and he whispered, "This isn't over." Sometimes, the most dangerous enemies were the face of a friend, and sometimes, the best agents are the ones no one ever sees.